Omar, you thought the Wattpad story was bad? My homegirl wrote this. The Masri Method by Omar Masri's Booty. 411, rated H for haram. Ya lahway. It started on a Tuesday, a moist Tuesday. The kind of day where the air was thick with tension and Axe body spray. Actually, I wear Dior Sauvage. Omar Masri strutted into the office wearing his signature leather blazer. Yes, leather and blazer. Smelling like oud and ambition. Okay, actually, I lied. I wear oud, not Dior Sauvage. He walked like he was 6'5", even though his head barely reached the "you must be this tall to ride" sign on the roller coaster. But oh, that confidence. Everyone stared. How could they not? His hair was slicked back like a villain in Turkish soap opera. And his jawline looked like it was carved by a haram angel on overtime. What does this even mean? You sat at your desk pretending to type, but really, you were watching him open the forbidden... I don't even know what that says. I can't see because of the red button. Private. Don't touch unless you're ready to ruin your life. Your curiosity? Uncontrollable. Your dignity? Hanging by a thread. You got up, heels clacking like you were in a music video, and whispered, Omar, I need access. He turned slowly, dramatically, like a man who had just heard his name called in a dream where he was the hero. He flashed you that little smirk he usually does in an attempt to turn you on. But on a serious note, he looked more like a confused character from a low-budget horror movie than the suave guy he thought he was. Are you sure? He asked, voice deeper. Then your student loan debt. Once you open this folder, there's no going back. I call it the Masri protocol. He stepped closer, eyes locked on yours, breath fresh like shawarma. Then without warning, he unzipped the folder and also his pants. Ha! Walek shumalik! Unclear. Plot hole. I work in spreadsheets, he whispered, leaning in, but baby, I want... Oh my god. What am I reading right now? What am I reading? What am I reading? You gasped, covering your 10 out of 10 face card. Alright, so now she's delusional. Omar would never find in any other woman. HR pinged you on Slack. Reported me to HR, that's crazy. But you muted the notification? Suddenly, he scooped you up like a delicate ladybug he found on his car window and placed you on the printer. How the fuck am I scooping a girl up? Unless she's like 2'10". Like, scoop her up like this? Like this? It hurt, but hey, Omar had zero self-control. I mean, yeah, I don't. Paper flew everywhere and somehow one copy of your left butt cheek printed. Bro, this girl is so silly, bro. This is so wrong. You muttered, clearly regretting your life choices, but also somehow intrigued. Then why does it feel like my 401k just matured? What? Omar whispered dramatically, licking a single tear off your cheek like he was auditioning for a role in a weird TikTok trend. Then plot twist! Both of you accidentally tumbled into the supply closet. Because of course, Omar couldn't manage simple spatial awareness. Damn, this is just shots thrown at me. Darkness, staples, the lingering scent of overpriced cologne. Somewhere in the background, someone accidentally hit the Zoom waiting room music on full blast, adding an unexpected layer of awkwardness to the whole situation. In that moment, you realized something. You weren't just his coworker. You were the forbidden file he'd been trying to access for ages, except clearly his security clear was a joke. Okay, what? You turned to leave, but just as your hand reached for the door, Omar's hand shot out, grabbing your arm with kind of confidence that only a chalb. He's fallahi. 100% fallahi. He's over here writing this. Chalib. A dog would have, thinking this behavior would win you over. Where do you think you're going, Habibti? He asked, voice dripping with confidence like he thought he had you wrapped around his finger. He asked, his voice dripping with that same overdone swagger. Like he was some kind of Arabian prince in a cheap cologne ad. You didn't even flinch though, not this time. You tilted your head and looked up at him, trying to hold back a smirk of your own. Let go of me, Omar! You really think I'm gonna stick around for your show? Because you're looking like a budget version of a 90s. Omar's face faltered. Faltered? What does that even mean? You guys are using big English for me. أنا بتكلم عربي. Just for a second, before that smugness came back, he leaned in closer, and for a moment, you weren't sure he was about to say something deep. But it was the same tired line. You can't walk away from this, ya Omri. I don't lose. Keep telling yourself that, short king. You shot back, rolling your eyes so hard as it almost hurt. Your ego's so big. It's the only thing that's taller than you right now. I'm not here for this nonsense. You look like a chelib, who thinks just barking at people gets them what they want. Omar's smirk faltered again. البنت وجع راس. And you almost felt bad, almost. Inti ليش? Why are you giving Omar a hard time? Sidetrack. Just accept what Omar has to... I'm kidding. But then he stepped closer, his breath warm against your face. The tension between you was so thick, it was suffocating. You didn't want to admit it, but the way he was looking at you with that dangerous intensity in his eyes made your pulse quicken just a little. Still, you weren't backing up. Alright, so you think you've got all the moves? You said, folding your arms, you sassy ass. But let's be real for a second. Your confidence is like an old car. Looks like it got potential, but once you get too close, it's clear it's all rust and no engine. Roasted my ass. His jaw tightened. The frustration was obvious now, but he wasn't done. No, Omar never gave up that easy. I mean, that's true, I don't give up. He leaned in, his lips hovering just a breath away from yours. I'm a Masri, he whispered, and Masris don't get rejected. You know, honestly, that is something I would probably say. In like a situation like this, yeah. You nailed that. Oh, so you're using your name as an excuse now? Wow, real classy. Omar Masris don't lose. My dude, you're acting like you've got the entire Arab world in your back pocket. All I'm seeing is a guy who's had one bad haircut away from looking like he belongs in a... There was a beat of silence, a long one. And then out of nowhere, the door to the closet swung open with a loud bang. You both froze, eyes wide. You looked at Omar, but the man, the kid, was too stunned to move. Suddenly, his phone buzzed in his pocket. You could see the way his whole demeanor changed, his frustration turning into something darker, colder. He pulled out his phone, glancing at the message. His eyes widened. He looked at you, his face a mask of annoyance. Next time, ya Omri, you won't get away so easily. This is so fucked up. Before you could respond, he spun around and stormed out of the supply closet like his little drama was already over. Something in his eyes made it clear this wasn't the end. Yeah, you better watch out. You turned to leave, but you couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was watching you. You pulled your phone out to text your friend when suddenly you received a new message from Omar. The text read, "Consider this a warning. I'll make sure you're locked in next time." We'll see who walks away then. Your stomach dropped. Something wasn't right. The game was shifting, and then you weren't sure if you were even playing anymore. I'm not gonna lie, this is very... I can see why you rated it H for haram. Why would you write this? It was interesting read, but holy shit.